So chapter 8, strategy implementation and control. In this chapter again we will divide into multiple parts. First, there are 3 to 4 concepts here. Number 1, strategy implementation. In strategy implementation, we are going to study about 3 concepts. That is meaning of strategy implementation. Then we are going to study about issues in strategy implementation. And then we are going to study strategy formulation versus strategy implementation. Clear? Strategy, formulation and implementation. These 3 concepts we are going to study. And then we have second concept we have is strategic controls. So strategic controls में we have 2 concepts. One is meaning of strategic controls, and then we have types of strategic controls. So types of strategic controls में clear? In types of strategic controls we are going to discuss about operational controls, then we are going to discuss about management controls, and then we are also going to discuss about strategy controls. Strategic controls. Next, so strategic controls में we have different types. Like we have premise controls, so first type of strategic control we have is premise controls. Second one we have strategic surveillance. Then third one we have is special alert control. And then we have implementation control. Now, under implementation control we have 2 types. So be very careful here in controls concept. First one we have is monitor strategic trust. And second one we have is milestone review. Clear? So controls में we have 3 types of controls, that is operational control, management control, strategic control. Under strategic control we have 4 types: premise controls, strategic surveillance, special alert control and implementation control. Again under implementation control we have 2 types, that is monitor strategic trust and then we have milestone review. Next, after controls then we have to study audit of strategy, audit of controls, audit of strategy. Clear? Now audit of strategy में clear, audit of strategy में we have audit of strategy में we have meaning, then we have need for strategy audit, then we have Richard Rumlet criteria for strategy audit, Richard Rumlet criteria for strategy audit, and then finally we have, yes I think this, yeah, this much only, these 3 concepts. In Richard Rumlet's criteria there are 4 criteria, that is consistency, consonance, Then we have feasibility, and then we have advantage. Here, then we have advantage. These four. So concept number one, strategy implementation. Concept number two, strategic controls. Concept number three, audit of strategy. And then we have miscellaneous concepts. No. Sir, miscellaneous concepts mein first one we have is strategy evaluation. Second one we have is business process reengineering. In short, BPR. And third and final concept we have here is benchmarking. So these are the concepts what we are going to discuss in this chapter. Clear? So four concepts. Concept number one, strategy implementation. Concept number two, strategic controls, audit of strategy, and miscellaneous concepts. These are the things what we are going to discuss. Now, I'm not going to go in a sequential order as per the chart. I'm going to go in the question answer format according to our material. So first let us start with the concept of business process reengineering. Business process reengineering. Here, business process reengineering, in short, BPR. In short, BPR. Now, sir, what exactly do we mean by business process reengineering? Sir, business process reengineering means redesigning the business process. It means I am redesigning business process. Here, I am redesigning the business process to achieve dramatic changes. To achieve dramatic changes. Dramatic changes. Here, so redesigning means starting from the scratch. Redesigning means start from the scratch. Here, I repeat, redesigning means starting from the scratch. Let us say, for example, see, I'm having, let us say, departments in my organization. I'm having accounts department. I'm having finance department. I'm having sales department. I'm having marketing department, purchase department. Like this, I'm having multiple departments. See, if problem is there in accounting department, I will make changes in accounting department. If problem is there in finance department, I will make changes in finance department. If problem is there in sales department, I will make changes in sales department. If problem is there in purchase department, I will make changes in purchase department. Now, I have problem in all the departments. In majority of the departments, here I am facing problems in majority of the departments. I am facing problems in all the departments. Now what should I do? I am facing problems. I am facing problems in most of the departments. See, if one or two departments has a problem, then it's not an issue. I can manage. But sir, if majority of the businesses, majority of the processes in my business are having problems, then I will go for what? Redesigning means start from the scratch. Make it clear. It means in simple words, dramatic improvement. Dramatic changes means 80 to 90% changes. 80% to 90% changes I will make in my business. Have you heard about internal reconstruction? Internal reconstruction may when you're doing problems in your advanced accounts. Small internal reconstruction is small changes or huge changes. Internal reconstruction means small changes or huge changes. Huge changes in a business. When I'm making huge changes in a business, for example, internal reconstruction, that is an example of what? So internal reconstruction, can I say, is an example of BPR? Internal reconstruction is an example of BPR, where I'm making huge changes, 80 to 90% changes I'm making in my business. Clear? But why am I making so many changes, sir? Why am I making so many changes, sir? Why am I redesigning the business process? Because I want improvement. Because I want improvement. I want improvement. And in what I want improvement, sir? I want improvement. I want improvement in cost. I want improvement in time. I want improvement in performance. I want improvement in quality. I want improvement in response to customers. Response to customers. Simple. I want improvements in cost, time, performance, quality, response to customers. Then only I'm going for what? Major changes in my business. Let us say, for example, cost. Cost improvement in cost means cost should reduce. Time taken to complete something clear should reduce. Performance should increase. Quality should increase. Response to customer should increase. This is nothing but an example of what, sir? An example of here an example of what? BPR. So when I am redesigning my complete business process for achieving major improvements or dramatic improvements, then it is called what? Then it is called as business process. We can also write the definition like this. We can also write business process something like this. BPR is fundamental rethinking. Here it is nothing but fundamental rethinking and radical redesign. Radical redesign. Here it is nothing but fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of what, sir? Of business process. Business process. To achieve what? To achieve dramatic improvements. To achieve dramatic improvements. Here to achieve dramatic improvements. Simple. Sir, what do we mean by fundamental thinking? Fundamental thinking means thinking from the scratch. Fundamental rethinking means thinking from the scratch. Think from scratch means start everything from beginning. Stop doing the work here. Stop doing the way in which you are doing the work. I repeat, stop doing the way in which you are doing the work. Completely change the way of working. Forget the existing. Like let us say I'm doing sales in one particular manner. Forget that. How you're doing sales, forget it. Completely start from the beginning again. It's called what? Fundamental rethinking. Radical redesign means radical redesign. I will write here. So radical redesign means new process. Clear? New process should be clear. New process should be completely different. Completely different from what? From existing process. From existing process. New process should be completely different from existing process. Means the like you completely stop doing the work in your existing way of doing and start doing the work in a completely new manner. There should be no relationship between the current work of way of doing the work and the new way of doing the work. And then we have dramatic improvement. This I already told you. Dramatic improvement means major improvements. Major improvements means 80 to 90% improvements. Simple. That is called what? Dramatic improvement. This dramatic improvement should be in the terms of what, sir? In terms of cost, time, performance, quality, response to customers, etc. etc. So in simple words, if I say BPR, in simple words, if I say BPR means what? Example is internal reconstruction where major changes are done. Clear? I hope the concept is clear. Introduction is clear to BPR. Anyone has any doubts here? Okay. Now let us see. Now let us see why BPR is required. Now let us see why BPR. Why business process reengineering? Like, why should I go for business process reengineering? There are many reasons, sir. Reason number one, clear? Reason number one, it helps me to focus on continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. Sir, improvement should be a one-time process or a continuous process? Continuous process. Take feedback from customers, take feedback from employees, take feedback from external environment. Keep improving yourself. Improvement is always a continuous process, never a one-time process. And then customer focus. Customer focus. My customers are not satisfied with me, sir. Clear? My customers are not satisfied with me. They are unhappy. Maybe they are not happy with the quality of product. They may not be happy with the price of the product. They may not be happy with the materials what I use in creating a product, or they may not be happy with after sales service. They are not happy. Now what I want to do, I want to change my business process in such a way that I start focusing on customers. Customer satisfaction becomes more important for me. Then also I can go for bpr. Then process focus, I want to become a process focus organization. Simple. I want to focus on the processes of my business. If I improve my business process, automatically everything will fall into place. Then I want dramatic improvement. Dramatic improvement. This we have already discussed 2 or 3 times till now. Then I want to focus, clear, I want to focus on, clear, I want to focus on how to compete rather than where to compete. Focus on how to compete. Sir, my competitors are better than me. I don't know in what sense they are better. I also want to become like my competitors. I want to beat competition. How? If I want to know, I will go for what? BPR. Next, sir, I want operational excellence. Operational excellence. Clear? Then also I can go for BPR. These are some reasons why people go for BPR. Like reason number one, they want to improve on a continuous basis. Number two, they want to focus on how to compete rather than where to compete. They want to have like a customer satisfaction. They want to become like make their motto. They want to focus on processes rather than functions. They want to improve and not a smaller changes, major improvements they want in my business, in their business. And then they want to have their operations, day-to-day operations in a proper manner. This is nothing but clear. This is nothing but examples of why BPR. Now let us see some areas. Clear. Now let us see some areas where BPR is required. Areas where BPR is required. Areas where BPR is required. Clear? Now, area number one. There are three areas what we are going to discuss. Area number one is related to development and delivery. Clear? Related to development and delivery of products and services. Clear? Related to development and delivery of products and services. Here examples of BPR, sir. Let us say with respect to delivering the product to customers or manufacturing the products for customers, there are some areas where I can implement BPR. Like let us say for example research and development may I can implement BPR. Manufacturing process may I can implement BPR. Logistics. Logistics may I can implement BPR in order to ensure clear. R&D may I will implement BPR in order to ensure that new innovations happen. Manufacturing may I can implement BPR in order to manufacture, you can say in order to reduce the wastage of inputs. Logistics may I can implement BPR in order to ensure that my transportation cost reduces and customer satisfaction increases. Then I can also implement in purchasing raw materials. Purchasing raw materials. I can implement BPR in purchasing the raw materials in a way that best quality raw materials are purchased at a cheap price. Then I can also design. I can implement BPR in designing the products, so that design is as per the requirements of the customers, not against their requirements. Then second type of BPR is related to interface with customers. Examples here. Related to interface means how I interact with my customers. I can implement BPR in marketing in order to improve my marketing. Like in advertisement, I can implement in advertisement also. I can implement BPR in fast order fulfillment, means delivering before the delivery date to customers. I can also improve in after sales services. These are some examples. I can provide better after sales services to my customers than compared to my competitors. Then BPR can also be related to management activities. Related to management activities. Here BPR can be in the areas, let us say, strategy formulation. I can implement BPR while formulating a strategy, so that strategy formulation is excellent. And in preparing budgets, I can also implement BPR in HRMS, clear, human resource management, etc., etc. These are some examples of areas where I can implement business process reengineering. Now, okay, sir. Now I decided that I want to go for business process reengineering. Clear? I understood what is business process reengineering. I were clear. Then I analyzed why should I go for, like, what is the reason that I want to go for BPR. Then I also analyzed in what type of areas I can go for BPR. After doing all this analysis, now I want to implement business process reengineering concept in my business. Then what should I do? You think directly can I start preparing my business process, changing my business process? No. There are some steps in implementing business process that we need to study now. So, how to implement business process reengineering? How to implement BPR, or you can say steps to implement BPR, business process reengineering. So there are how many? Around total 4 steps we have. Step number 1, determine the objective. Clear? Determine the objective. Then step number 2, identify customer needs. Then study the existing process. And then formulate BPR. Formulate BPR. So how many steps are there in total? First one is determine the objectives. Second step we have is identify customer needs. Then we have study existing process. and then we have formulate Bpr. So determining the objective means decide why exactly you want to go for Bpr. Objective means why you want to go for Bpr. Why you want to go for Bpr. Like what exactly do you want to achieve for? This is objective is nothing but, so we can say in simple words, these are the results. These are the results desired. Objectives are nothing but, objective means these are the results desired from Bpr. Clear? These are the results desired from Bpr. Like let us say what is the result I want? Maybe the result what I want after Bpr, maybe reduction in cost or increase in performance. Clear? Or increase in quality or better provision of customer service. Why exactly I want to go for Bpr? Like example, sir. Example, bank. What bank wants to do? Bank wants to reduce waiting time waiting time for customers. Earlier what used to happen here? Earlier we had to stand in line, and when our turn comes we had to deposit the cash in bank account and come. But nowadays, in order to reduce the time, what did bank do? Majority of the banks are having their own cash deposit machine. So rather than going to back and standing in line, and which takes lot of time, what did bank do? They started implementing cash deposit machines where you go, deposit cash and come back. So your waiting time will reduce. That is one example of what you want to achieve from Bpr. Then we have identify customer needs. Means maximum time they want to spend they want to spend on any service. Like let us say for example, when a customer goes to bank for cash deposit, maximum how much time what a customer is ready to wait to deposit cash. That is called what? Identifying the customer need. Or let us say when I book an Ola cab, what is the maximum time I'm ready to wait before a cab arrives? Again, an example of what? Customer satisfaction. See, if the waiting time is less, automatically customer satisfaction will increase. So that is why when you are changing a business process, do not change as per your requirements. Change as per what? Customer's requirement. Find out what customer wants. According to that only, prepare your BPR. Then step number 3, studying the existing process means this provides studying the existing process provides clear basis for BPR. Means unless and see, why am I going for BPR? Because I'm having some problems in existing business. Today, because I'm facing problems in my business, that is why I'm going for BPR, right? So that is why unless and until I study my existing process, unless and until I know what exactly is the problem today, will I be able to create a BPR plan? No. That is why step number 2 may study existing process and try to find out what exactly is the problem you are facing in a business. After determining the objectives, after talking to customers, identifying their requirements, and after finding out the existing business process ka problems, then formulate a BPR. Why should I formulate a BPR? I should formulate a BPR plan. So what happens? BPR plan is prepared. Here, BPR plan is prepared for what, sir? The BPR plan is prepared. Why it is prepared? To ensure that problems are eliminated. I had problems in step clear. Problem number 1, 2. There are many problems in BPR. These problems should not be there when I prepare a new BPR plan. Clear? So step number 1, determine the objective. Step number 2, identify the customer needs. Step number 3, studying the existing process. And step number 4, formulating a BPR plan. Now, sir, let us say for example Nokia. Nokia is a company which went for business process reengineering. Nokia was one of the top companies in the world, especially in India. It was the number one mobile phone company. Almost 50 to 60% market share Nokia used to have in India. But suddenly, what happened when Android came? Like Android was introduced into this world, and then iOS was also introduced to us. Because of that, what happened? Slowly, people started moving from Nokia's own operating system to Android and iOS. Because of which, what happened? From 60%, its share slowly reduced, and it is nowhere to be found. Later on, what happened? After making lot of changes, like they have changed their top level management, middle level management, lower level management. Even today, Nokia is using Android operating system. Lot of changes they have made. After making so many changes, that too as per customers' requirements. Today, do people buy Nokia phones? No. So it means, in simple words, even after going for business process reengineering, even after making lots of changes in my business, does it guarantee me success? No. So that is why BPR has its own problems. Let us now see what are the problems of BPR. One problem just now I discussed. Like even after making so many changes, there is no guarantee that my business will be as successful as before. So problems, BPR problems, BPR problems. Problem number one. Problem number one requires, here it requires radical change, radical, or you can say major change in business process. In business process, it requires radical changes in business process. If I want to make radical change or major changes in business process, why am I unable to make? Because of two reasons. Reason number one, because of many reasons. Reason number one, heavy expenditure. Heavy expenditure. If I have to completely change the way in which I'm working, huge cost is incurred, right? And moreover, it may be difficult, may be difficult for employees to adapt, for employees to adapt to what? To new changes. Employees may not be ready to, you can say, start the new way of working. Employees may not be ready. They are comfortable in doing the work as they are doing. They may not like any changes. That is one more problem. Moreover, it requires commitment. Here it requires commitment from top level management. Requires commitment from top level management. Unless and until top level management gives the go ahead, it is practically not possible for me to implement BPR. And getting permission from top level management to do these type of major changes is very difficult. And moreover, transition process. Transition process from old to new, from old to new is very difficult. Completely stopping the way in which you are doing work and completely changing the way in which you want to do the work, completely changing old to new process, it's not that easy. It becomes very difficult, right? It's not that easy to suddenly stop the way in which you are working, clear, and start working in a completely new manner. It's very difficult. Then moreover, there is one more problem. No assurance for successful, no assurance of success. No assurance of success means even after making so many changes, I will have no guarantee. Clear, there will be no guarantee that my existing business, clear, will be as successful as my old business. No guarantee, right? So these are the problems. Number one, it requires radical change, and radical change or major change is very difficult. Why? It requires heavy expenditure, and employees may not be ready to convert, like shift to new procedure of doing the work. Commitment from top level management may not be there. Converting the old process to new processes may be very difficult, and there may be no assurance of success. These are all examples of what, sir? Problems in BPR. Now the last concept in BPR, that is principles of BPR. BPR principles, also called as central thrust of BPR. Thrust of BPR. Here, central thrust of BPR. See, point number one. Sir, in many organizations, work is clear. Business process is split into many activities. Many activities which are performed by many employees. Example, sir, like let us say you take an example of sales. Clear? Let us take an example of sales. Like sales of, let us say, Hyderabad. Hyderabad mein there are almost 30 areas. Like area number 1 mein X is taking care of sales. Area number 2 mein Y is taking care of sales. Area number 3 of Himayat Nagar mein Z person is taking of sales. One activity, that is sale co, I am dividing into multiple activities, and every activity is performed by a different person. Because of which what happens, due to this what happens, single person cannot be held responsible. Clear? Single person cannot be held responsible for business outcome. Simple. Clear? For business outcome. Since many people are involved in business process, you cannot blame one person for the failure or success of a company. I cannot give credit to one person for success of the company, nor can I blame one person for failure of a company. Why? Because many people are there, right? So that is why bpr tries to avoid bpr tries to avoid this type of situation. BPR tries to avoid this problem. Here, BPR tries to allow this problem by not allowing business process to be executed parallelly, unless there is proper coordination. Simple. If there is no coordination, no communication, no linkages between employees are not good enough, then BPR will not allow one task to be done by multiple people. But BPR will allow one task to be done by many people only and only when the communication between the employees, relationship between the employees, coordination between the employees is good. Otherwise, it will not allow you to do. Clear? Next. Then it will ask you to according to BPR, data should be stored. Company का data should be stored where, sir? In online common database. Why, sir? Because every branch में same data is there. What is going to happen? Data duplication is going to happen. In order to avoid data duplication, clear? In order to avoid data duplication, what is BPR telling us? Create one database, upload all the data there. Why, sir? To avoid data duplication. Here, to avoid what, sir? Data duplication. Simple. Understood? So this is nothing but the central thrust of BPR. So just let us go through the brush up the material once. We have seen question number 1, that is BPR. Clear? Question number 1, BPR and principles of BPR done. Then How is BPR implemented or steps in implementing the BPR done? Then number 3, write a short note on problems of BPR also done. After this, in amendments material, like some changes material me, we have discussed issues clear in BPR. What are the issues what a company faces in BPR? Then we have seen, no, I think issues we have not seen, right? Just let me check once. No, we have not seen issues in BPR. So we have issues in BPR, and what is pending? Examples of core processes in BPR. See, process can be of two types, core and non-core. Examples of, I will write here, examples of core processes in BPR. Examples of core processes in BPR. See, business process can be of two types, core and non-core. Something which has a huge impact on my business environment, core business process. Something which does not have a big impact on my business environment, it is called as non-core process. Let us see what are the core processes and non-core processes here. Sir, let us say for example, let us take an example of electronics industry, electronics or semiconductor industry. Semiconductor industry. In electronics and semiconductor industry, what is the core process? Core process is nothing but new product development. New product development. If I don't develop a new product fast, what is going to happen? My products may become outdated and I might be eliminated from the market. Let us say, for example, we have Intel ka processors. We have initially we used to have Intel Pentium processors, Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. Then came dual core, then came core to duo, then came i3, i5, i7, i9. What is Intel doing? It is continuously developing new products, or you can say it is refurbishing, or basically it is improving the existing products in order to stay in market. This is an example of core process of electronics industry or semiconductor industry. Next, number 2, FMCG. FMCG goods, clear, fast moving consumer goods. Here what is more important? Here marketing. Marketing is a core process, because if marketing is not done properly, my business will run into losses. If marketing is done properly, my business will start earning profits. Then we have banking industry. Clear? Now, in banking industry, what is more important to generate? Clear? Generate funds. Clear? Generate funds for advances to customer. Advances to customers means generate as much funds deposits as possible, so that a bank will be able to provide loans to customers. Otherwise, if bank is not getting enough deposits, from where will it get money to give to customers in the form of loans and advances? Then we have insurance industry. Clear? Insurance industry. अब sir, insurance industry में what is the core process or a competitive premium? Means the premium of my insurance policy should be less than compared to competitors, plus fast settlement of claims. This is one more example of core process. Clear? So these are some examples of what? These are some examples of you can say core processes in BPR. Here BPR, principles done, problems are also called as issues. So with this we completed a big concept of BPR. So anyone has any doubts in concept of BPR? Like let us say for example, in benchmarking what do I do? I will compare myself with someone best in the industry. I repeat, I will compare myself with someone best in the industry, and then I will try to improve. Let us say for example, let us assume Amazon delivers the products in 24 hours. Clear? Flipkart delivers the products in, let us say for example, 3 days. Now what will Flipkart do? Flipkart will compare itself with whom? Flipkart will compare itself with Amazon. Now it will find out, oh, I am delivering in 3 days. Amazon is able to deliver in 24 hours. Customers of Amazon are more satisfied than compared to my customers. Then what will happen? Flipkart will now prepare a strategy. Flipkart will now prepare strategy to deliver here, to improve its delivery time. Basically, we can write like this: improve its delivery time. This is called what? This is called as benchmarking. Means I am comparing my business with someone best in the industry. I can compare with respect to price. Clear? One example I've taken. I have taken an example of delivery dates, delivery time. You can take delivery time also. You can take quality of products also as a basis, price also as basis, discount also as basis. Clear? Make like after sales customer service also you can take. There are many factors which you can use in order to compare your business with other business and improve. Here I have taken example only of delivery time. So here what is Flipkart doing? Flipkart is analyzing its delivery time with Amazon and finding out that Amazon is able to deliver almost 2 days before Flipkart does. Because of which Flipkart is losing customers to Amazon. Amazon customers are more satisfied than compared to Flipkart. Because of this what will happen? It will prepare a strategy to improve its delivery time. Try to reduce the gap between Amazon delivery time and Flipkart delivery time. This is called what? This is called as benchmarking. So in simple words, if I say what is benchmarking? Sir, benchmarking is a process of continuous improvement. Benchmarking is a process of continuous improvement. Here, benchmarking is a process of continuous improvement in search of competitive advantage. In search of competitive advantage. Clear? I repeat, I am trying to compare myself with some other company and I am trying to continuously improve. Why? Because I want to have an advantage over my competitors in market. So in simple words, I can say compare our business in non-technical words. If I write compare our business with someone best in the industry, and try to improve. This is called what? This is called as benchmarking. Like there are many areas for benchmarking. There are many areas in which I can do benchmarking. Let us say I can do benchmarking with respect to price. I can do benchmarking with respect to customer services. I can identify my benchmark based on plant utilization level. I can compare my business with your business based on what? Manufacturing cost. I can compare my business with your business based on maintenance operations. I can compare my business with your business using human resource management, like employees, satisfaction of employees. I can also compare my business with your business using what? Clear? Any other factors? Clear? We have taken how many factors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are not the clear. These are not the all examples. There are some examples of how I can compare my business with your business and try to improve. Clear? So in simple words, when one company is comparing itself with the another company and trying to improve its business, then it is called what? Then it is called as clear. Then it is called as what? Business. Benchmarking. Clear? Then it is called as benchmarking. Example I gave you: Flipkart and Amazon. One more example: Pizza Hut and Domino's. So Domino's delivers the pizza in just 30 minutes, right? Domino's delivers the pizza in only 30 minutes, and Pizza Hut takes around 45 minutes to 50 minutes to deliver. There is no such guarantee given by Pizza Hut. So that is why what happens to, since Domino's is able to deliver similar quality and quantity of pizza, a similar taste at a lesser time than compared to Pizza Hut. The brand value of Domino's is more than compared to Pizza Hut in India. Clear? No. Okay, sir. Now I understood. Now I understood that I am lacking. Now I want to improve. I want to improve my business process. I compared my business process with your business process. Now I want to improve. How, sir? That is nothing but steps in benchmarking or benchmarking process. Steps in benchmarking or benchmarking process. Here, benchmarking process. There are clear. Step number one. Step number one, what do I do? Identify the need for benchmarking. Identify the need for benchmarking. Like, first of all, find out, is there any benchmarking required or not? Compare your performance with your competitors' performance. Try to find out, is there any you can say change required or not. If there is no change required, then there is no meaning for going for benchmarking. Then clearly understand existing business process. Clear? Clearly understand existing business process. Try to understand, like, why exactly you're lagging behind your competitors. Try to understand. That may be because of some problems what you're facing, or that may be because of that your competitor may be much more better company than compared to you. There are many reasons. Try to identify, and when you compare yourself with your competitor, then identify best process. Identify best process. I After identifying the best process, what will I do? Compare own process. Compare own process and performance with that of others. With that of others. And see who is better. Clear? Compare your performance with that of others and identify gaps. Identify gaps. Gaps means the problems. Like, why your competitor is better than you. Like I told you, right? Domino's is delivering the pizza in 30 minutes. Pizza Hut is delivering in 45 minutes. What is the gap of 15 minutes? Try to identify that. And then prepare a report. Prepare a report. Prepare report and implement steps to reduce gap. Reduce gap. Try to ensure that the gap between your performance and your competitors' performance reduces. Then only I will have a competitive advantage over my competitors. Then prepare a report. Prepare report on benchmarking initiatives taken. Initiatives taken. Like, what have you done in benchmarking? What have you done till now? Okay, you try to reduce. Clear? You try to reduce the gap between your performance and your competitive performance. For that, what have you done? What steps have you taken? And then evaluate the result. Evaluate the result of benchmarking. Clear? Evaluate the result of benchmarking. These are the steps to be followed where, sir? These are the steps to be followed in implementation of what? Implementation of benchmarking. So this is a small concept of benchmarking. Anyone has any doubts here in this small concept? No. Now let us understand here. Now let us understand next concept. Next concept what we have is strategic controls. Clear? Strategic controls. Important concept from exam point of view. Strategic controls. Sir, why these controls are developed in a business? Why business develops the controls? Strategic controls are developed to check. Here they are developed to check and regulate the activities. Regulate the activities. Here they are developed to check and regulate the activities of individuals. Of individuals and organization. Simple. I want to clear. I am developing a controls. Business is developing the controls in order to verify the activities performed by individuals and the activities performed by the organization. So individual activities also I will verify. Overall organization activities also I am going to verify. That is why I am implementing something called strategic controls. So strategic controls can be divided into how many types? Can be divided into three types. First one we have is operational controls. Operational controls. Here first one we have is operational controls. Sir, what are operational controls? Sir, operational controls focuses, I repeat one thing in simple words if I say, operational controls focuses on what? Operational controls focuses on specific task. Operational controls focuses on specific task performed. Task focuses on specific task performed. Why, sir? To ensure that they are performed here efficiently and effectively. Simple. So operational control, what am I doing? I am putting a control on individual activities of a business. I repeat, I am putting a control on individual activities of a business. Specific task means individual activities. Specific task means individual activities. Individual activities. And what these individual activities are? Individual activities are nothing but day-to-day activities. Day-to-day activities. Simple. When I'm putting a control, clear as a business, when I'm putting a control on specific tasks performed or individual activities of a business or day-to-day activities of a business to check whether these day-to-day activities are being performed in an efficient and effective manner or not, then it is called what? Then it is called as operations control. Example, sir, let us say for example, quality control. Quality control is one example of what, sir? Operational controls. Then we have cost control. This is one more examples of what, sir? Operational control. Then stock control. Clear? This is one more example of what? This is one more example of operational controls. So quality controls are there, cost controls are there, stock controls are there. They are called what? Operational controls. And operational controls does not focus on the complete organization. It focuses on individual activities which are performed in an organization. I repeat, operational controls do not focus on, I repeat, operational controls do not focus on overall organization. It focuses on what? Individual activities which are performed in an organization. Why, sir? Because why am I performing this? Because I want to ensure that, all activities. Why am I putting the control? Because I want to ensure that all activities are performed as per standards. Every activity should be performed as per the standard. You cannot deviate from the standard. You cannot perform the work on your own as per your wishes. You have to follow the rules and regulations of the company. And whether you are following this or not, where will I see? Operational control. Clear? So in simple words, remember, I am not focusing on the complete company. I am focusing only on one area of a company. Then it comes under operational control. So then we have management control. Then we have management control. Name itself tells, sir, management control will take care of what? It is more aggregative. Here it is more aggregative in nature. It is aggregative in nature. Means it will not take care of individual activities. Does not take care of individual activities. Means it will in simple words take care of complete organization. Clear? It takes care of complete organization. Complete organization is covered under these controls. Covered under these controls. Simple. If I am clear, if I am focusing on individual activities of a business, then it comes under operational control. So if I'm focusing on overall organization as a whole, I'm not focusing on one or two activities. I'm focusing on complete organization as a whole. Then it comes under what? Then it comes under management controls. And here management controls can be short term also, long term also. It can be short term controls also, long term controls also. It can be long term controls also. Clear? It can be short term also, it can be long term also. Examples, sir. Examples we can say annual sales target. Clear? Annual sales target. Here annual sales target, you have one example. Then production targets. Production targets is one more example. Clear? Annual sales target is an example of management control. And production target, overall production target. I'm not talking about production target relating to one or two branches. If a production target is related to one or two branches, then it is called as operational control. But if a production target is represented by the complete organization, all branches put together, how much should I produce the goods? Then that comes under what? Then that comes under management controls. Then what is the third type? Then we have strategic controls. Then the last type of controls what we have is strategic controls. Now strategic control के लिए clear to you strategic control. Why strategic controls are implemented in the organization? There are two reasons. There are two reasons for management to implement strategic controls. Reason number one, strategy, clear? Strategy is being implemented. Clear? Strategy is being implemented as planned. Simple. Everyone is implementing the strategy as per the requirements of the plan what top level management is prepared. Plus results plus results produced by strategy, results produced by strategy are as expected. Then only company will go for what? Business will go for strategic controls. Reason number one, it wants to ensure that according to plan only strategy is being implemented, plus the results of strategy is as per the expectations of management. Clear? If management wants that all the employees in the organization follow the strategy being prepared by top level management, then go for strategic controls. Plus, it also wants to ensure that what all results are given by the strategy what we have implemented should be as per the expectations of management. Then also it can go for which controls, sir? Strategic controls. And the strategic controls are divided into how many types? Strategic controls are divided into 4 types. The first type of control we have is here premise controls. Then second control there is strategic surveillance. And then special alert control. And third one, implementation control. Implementation control. Clear? These are the 4 types of controls what I have. Clear? So take a break of 10 minutes, and once you are done with the break, then we will continue this concept. Clear? Take a break of 10 minutes. So in strategic controls we have discussed about operational controls, and we have also discussed about management controls. Now let us discuss about strategic controls. Strategic controls first one we have is what, sir? Premise controls. Sir, what do we mean by premise control? See, whenever I am preparing a strategy, clear? I repeat, whenever I am preparing a strategy, I will always prepare a strategy based on some assumptions. Clear? Whenever I am preparing a strategy, I will prepare that strategy on the basis of some assumptions. Future may those assumptions will change, correct or not? I prepare a strategy based on some assumptions. That assumptions on the basis of which I am preparing a strategy may change in future. So whenever the assumptions on which I prepared a strategy change, I should also change my strategy. That is called which controls? That is called as premise controls. Clear? So strategy is prepared on some assumptions about future, right? So what I should do? Organization should keep monitoring the change. Organization should keep monitoring change. Clear? Organization should keep monitoring the change over time and change the strategy accordingly. Clear? And change the strategy accordingly. Clear? So whenever I'm preparing a strategy, I will always prepare a strategy on the basis of some assumptions. Future may what happens, these assumptions may change. The basis on which I prepared a strategy, the assumptions what I used in preparing a strategy might change in future. That is why what I have to do, keep monitoring the changes. If my assumptions change, automatically what I should do, I should also change my strategy. Then we have strategic surveillance. Here, then we have strategic surveillance. Strategic surveillance means general monitoring of sources of information. General monitoring of sources of information. Clear? General monitoring of sources of information to uncover information important For what? For organization. Simple. Generally, keep analyzing the external environment. Clear? Generally, keep analyzing the external environment and find out. Clear? Keep analyzing the external environment and find out any important information is there for a company or not, which you can use or not. Let us say, for example, your competitor may have launched a new product, or competitor might have exited from the market, or competitor might have declared dividend. Some information which you think that, keep monitoring the environment, external environment, and see if any information you find out is that you think that it is useful for the company, use it. Then we have special alert control. Special alert control matlab, in simple words, there are some uncertainties, or you can say unexpected events. Unexpected events, yeah, unexpected events necessitate changes in strategy. Changes in strategy. Clear? I repeat, unexpected events necessitate a change in strategy. For example, sir, let us say, for example, so this, because of this, what happens to, clear, because of this, immediate review. This requires, immediate review. Requires immediate review. Review of strategy. Simple, sir. Let us say there might be changes in government rules and regulations. There might be changes in some, like let us say, uh, so what is that, COVID situation, we can say. Clear? COVID situation is one example of unexpected events. Clear? Government increasing the GST on some items and decreasing the GST on some items is an example of special alert control. Suddenly, due to some riots, government has implemented some curfew, because of which my business may get impacted in some regions or a country. So unexpected events will happen. In case if these unexpected events have a negative impact on my business, then I need to review and change my strategy accordingly. That is called what? Special alert control. And then we have implementation control. Implementation control may, there are two types of controls. First one I told you, monitor strategic thrust. Clear? Clear? Monitor strategic thrust. What do we mean by managing strategic thrust? To check whether, clear, check whether, clear, check whether strategy is progressing, strategy is progressing as desired or not. Simple. Check whether, clear, you prepared a strategy. Check whether the strategy what you prepared is being implemented as per your requirements or not. That is called what? That is an example of monitor strategic thrust. And then what is the second one we have? Sir, second one we have is milestone review. Second one we have is milestone review. Second one we have is milestone review. Sir, what is this milestone review? Clear? Major events. Assessment of major events. Assessment of major events. Like let us say, for example, are you going in a intended direction or not? Let us say, for example, you want to become a CA. Like what are the steps in becoming a CA? First, your first milestone we have is foundation. Second is inter. Then we have ITT and orientation. Then we have articleship. Then we have GMCS. Then we have CA final. They are all called milestones. So you have to keep checking whether you are achieving your milestones or not. That is called what? Milestone review. Okay. So these were the different types of controls what we have in our syllabus. I hope this concept is clear, controls concept. Any doubts here? The next concept what we have is audit. The next concept what we have is strategy audit. Strategy audit. Clear? Sir, what is the guarantee that the strategy what I have prepared is going to give me success, not a failure? Clear? What is the guarantee that the strategic management process of my business is properly working or not? My vision, objectives, goals I'm achieving or not? If I want to know this, then what will I do? I will go for strategy audit. Simple. If I want to know whether the strategic management process of my company is working properly or not. Like what is strategic management process? Achievement of mission, vision, objectives and goals. Tomorrow we are going to discuss that concept only. Chapter number 3. So what is strategy audit, sir? It is nothing but it is examination, clear, examination and evaluation. Clear? Examination and evaluation of areas affected by strategic management process. Strategic management process. Simple. Clear? So if like I am unable to achieve my goals and objectives, I'm unable to achieve my vision, I'm unable to focus on my vision, then find out what are the reasons behind non-achievement of these things. How, sir? Go for strategy audit, right? So when a strategy audit is conducted, it provides a platform. Clear? Strategy audit provides a platform. Clear? Platform for discussion with whom, sir? With top level management. Auditor will sit with the top level management and discuss them. What, sir? Regarding what? Regarding corporate actions. Clear? Regarding corporate actions, or you can say changes here, or you can say changes in existing strategy, existing business plan. So auditor will here, or after the audit is completed, what will auditor do? Auditor will sit with the top level management and tell them, okay, these are the problems what we are facing in the business. Because of this, these are the changes what you have to make in your present strategy. So it provides a platform, or it provides a way of communicating between the auditor and the top level management. No, during clear, whenever we go for strategy audit, some questions have to be asked. Clear, important questions which have to be followed, important questions what I have to decide for strategy audit. Example, sir, what are those points what I have to keep in mind? Number one, how well is current strategy working? How well is the current strategy working? Means company is having a current strategy, but is it working properly or not? If it is working properly, well and good, sir, no issues. In case if the present strategy of the company is not working properly, then there might be some changes required in the strategy. Next, how well will the current strategy, how well will the current strategy, yes, how well will the current strategy be working in future? Be working in future. Means, sir, today I'm able to use that strategy. Clear? Today I'm able to use that strategy. But what is the guarantee that my current strategy will also work in future? Today that strategy is fine, no issues. I'm not facing any problem in that strategy. But what is the guarantee that future may the current strategy will work? If it is going to work, well and good. Otherwise, make some changes in the strategy now only. How can this be evaluated? This be evaluated in present and future. Simple. Like, how will I evaluate the strategy of a business today, and what is my plan for evaluating the strategy of a business in future? That is one more point. And moreover, is there an urgent need? Is there an urgent need Here, is there an urgent need to change existing strategy? Sir, I will make changes in the existing strategy only when I feel. I repeat, I will make the changes in existing strategy only and only when I feel that it is mandatory to do. Without making changes, if I feel that I can manage, I will not make any changes. So decide what is the urgency. If it is urgent, without making this, without making changes, you can't survive. Your strategy will be a complete failure. Then make changes. Otherwise, leave it as it is. Clear? Now, now question comes, what is the need for going for strategy audit? What is the need for going for strategy audit? Need for strategy audit. Clear? Need for strategy audit. Like, why do I need to go for strategy audit? Reason number one, when to go for strategy audit. Number one, sir, when there is a major change, when major changes, major changes take place in external environment. Clear? Whenever there are major changes happen in the external environment, let us say there is a change here, there is a change in the political party. Earlier political party used to support my business. Now the new political party may or may not support my business. Earlier I used to get lot of subsidies because of which price was very less. Now I may not get that many subsidies because of which price I may not be able to reduce. Or government has bought my business into the purview of GST, because of which my prices have to increase now. There are some major changes. Customers' taste and preferences are shifting from cost leadership to differentiation, or differentiation to focus strategy. These are called what? Major changes. Whenever any major changes takes place in the environment, then better go for strategy audit to find out whether the strategy what you are using will be useful in future or useless in future. Next, reason number two for going for strategy audit. When objectives and goals, when objectives and goals, objectives and goals are not being achieved, you are unable to achieve your objectives and goals, sir. Obviously your mission, vision, objective, goals are a complete failure, you are unable to achieve them, then better go for what? Better go for strategy audit. Then reason number three, when performance indicators, when performance when performance indicators here, when performance indicators reflect that strategy is not performing, your strategy is not performing as desired, means you are not getting the results what you expect after implementing a strategy, then also I can go for what? Then also I can go for strategy audit. When top level management, clear, when top level management decides to fine tune, clear, when top level management decides to fine tune the existing strategies, means rather than preparing a completely new strategy, I repeat, rather than introducing a completely new strategy in the company, the management, top level manager of the company wants to make small changes in the existing strategy, and same small changes while a new strategy it will implement. It is not implementing a completely new strategy, it is making small changes in the existing strategy, same strategy it is implementing as a new strategy, then also I will need to go for what? I need to go for strategy audit. Next, when major changes, major changes have taken place Here, when major changes have taken place after formulation of strategy. After formulation of strategy. Clear? So lot of changes have taken place, sir, after formulation of strategy. Then also I will go for what? Then also I will go for strategy audit. So these are the need or reasons to go for which audit, sir? Strategy audit. Next. Now let us now discuss Richard Rumletka criteria for strategy audit. He is one strategic clear. He is a big strategist, and according to him, what are the reasons for going for strategy audit? Let us see. That is Richard Rumlet's criteria for strategy audit. Now, according to Richard Rumlet, what are the criteria? As I already told you, there are 4 criteria for going for audit. Criteria number 1 is what, sir? Consonance. Here, criteria number 1 is consonance. I may not write in a sequential order, but all points we will discuss. Consonance means what? Examining the trends. Examining the trends. Examine trends. Here, it can be individual trends also. It can be overall trends also. Here, it can be individual trends also. It can be overall trends also. Here, I just want to examine the trends. I want to examine the trends and patterns of my strategy. Either it can be individual trends or overall trends. Next. What next? So, in simple words, if I want to rewrite, we can say something like this. Strategy should be adaptive. Strategy should be what, sir? Adaptive. Adaptive to what? External environment. Means my strategy should be capable of analyzing the trends in the external environment. Whatever strategy I have, that should be capable enough of examining the trends in the external environment, and based on that making the changes in my existing strategy. Simple. Understood? That is called what? Consonance. So if I want to find out what are the trends in the external environment and want to make changes in my business as per the changes in external trends, then consonance. That is one criteria for going for which audit? Strategic audit. Criteria number 2, advantage. Clear? Criteria number 2, advantage. I want to get a competitive advantage over others. Advantage means organization wants to achieve competitive advantage over others. Then I need to evaluate my strategy, find out whether my present strategy will help me in achieving a competitive advantage over others or not. Clear? Example, sir, I can have a competitive advantage in the field of resources. Here I can have competitive advantage with respect to resources, with respect to skills, with respect to position, etc., etc. There are many areas in which I can have advantage. So if I want to develop a competitive advantage or find out whether I'm having a competitive advantage or not, then better go for strategy audit. Then we have third one, feasibility. Here then we have feasibility. Feasibility means do not overtax resources. Here means do not overtax resources. Means overutilization of resources should not happen. Plus, do not create do not create unsolvable problems. I repeat, I don't want my strategy to overtax the resources, means overutilize my resources. Plus, I also don't want my strategy to create unsolvable problems. Then better go for which audit? Better go for strategy audit. Example, sir, like let us say resources can be human resources like employees. Don't overutilize the employees. Clear? Resources can be physical resources like machines. It can be financial resources. Example of financial resources, money. So do not overutilize your resources. Otherwise, what is going to happen? You will be creating problems for you which you cannot solve. Means it results into what? Unsolvable problems. That should not happen, right? Next. Then we have last one, consistency. Clear? Consistency. Sir, what exactly do we mean by consistency? Sir, consistency means strategy should not present inconsistent goals. Strategy should not represent inconsistent goals. Inconsistent goals. Inconsistent means non-compatible, non-achievable. Clear? Non-compatible or non-achievable. Like how do I know if organizing, how do I know whether the problems what I am facing are because of, clear, how do I know whether the problems what I am facing are because of inconsistency? There are three things what I need to keep in mind. Number one, clear, if managerial problems, if managerial problems continue despite, clear, I repeat, if managerial problems continue despite, clear, despite changes in personnel, changes in personnel, means even after changing the employees also still managerial problems I'm unable to solve, means consistency is not there, inconsistent goals are there. Number two, success of one department and failure of another department, means some departments are having success, some departments are having failure. Some departments may am having profits, some departments may am having losses. This is called what? Inconsistency. I'm not able to maintain consistency. Then last one, clear, if problems are continuously bought, continuously brought to top level management, means even small issues also company is unable to solve. I repeat, even small issues also company is unable to solve. Every small issue they are taking to top level management and they are wasting their time. Clear? So this is called what? Consistency. Problem. So point number one, according to Richard Rumlett, what is the criteria for going for strategy audit? Number one, consonance. Number two, advantage. Number three, feasibility. Number four, consistency. Consonance means I want to examine the trends in external environment, and based on the trends in external environment, I want to make changes in my business. Then go for strategy audit. Sir, I want to get a competitive advantage over here. I want to get a competitive advantage over my competitors. Then go for strategy audit. Next, sir, I don't want to overtax my resources. Means I don't want to overutilize my resources. It may be financial resources, human resources, physical resources. Otherwise, it will create problems which I can't solve, unsolvable problems. Then also, I can go for strategy audit. Then consistency. Strategy should not represent inconsistent goals. Means how do I know whether I'm consistent or not? Sir, even after making changes in top level management, still problems are not getting solved. That is one issue. Sir, some departments are having success, some departments are having failure. That is one more problem. And moreover, if problems are continuously brought to the knowledge of top level management, middle level, lower level are not doing anything. They can't solve small issues also. For every small thing, you're going and talking to top level management. Then also we need to go for strategy audit, because they are called as inconsistent goals and objectives or policies. Clear? So any doubts in this concept? So strategic change. Now let us say, for example, first in my business, what will I do? I will prepare some standards. Clear? I will prepare some standards to be followed. This is my standard. Like I set one benchmark, I set one standard. And then what happens? Standard ke baad there will be something called actual performance. Standard ko I will compare with what, sir? Actual performance. I will compare my standard what I set with the actual performance. If there is any deviation, if there is any deviation, if there is any deviation from set standards, then I will analyze and change. Simple. I will analyze and change. In every organization, first what will happen? First they will set one standard level of performance. That standard performance I will compare with what? Actual performance. And if there is any deviation, which deviation? Negative deviation. See, deviation can be of two types. If here it can be of two types, I can write like this. Deviation can be, we can divide into two types. If actual performance, if actual performance is better than, if actual performance is better than standard performance, then this is also deviation. But here it will have a clear, you need not worry about this. Since my actual performance is much more better than what I expected, then no issues. This deviation, this is also deviation, but since it is a positive deviation, just ignore it. But in second situation, what is going to happen here? Sir, if actual performance is less than standard performance, means I expected that you will perform with 80% capability, but you actually you achieved only 70% target. I gave you a target of, let us say, selling 100 goods, but your showroom has sold only 80 goods. Means your actual performance is much more lesser than compared to standard performance. Then this will have a negative impact. You have to take care of this. Here, what will I do? I will make changes. I will analyze. Here, I will analyze like what exactly happened that my showroom was unable to sell the expected number of goods. And after analyze, what will I do? I will change. This is called what? This is a concept of strategic change. So in simple words, comparing my actual performance with standard performance, analyzing the deviation and then making a change is called what? Strategic change. And now strategic change में there are three steps. There are three steps in strategic change. Step number one, recognize the need for change. Need for change. Step number two, create a shared vision. Create a shared vision. Clear? Create a shared vision to manage change. And third one, institutionalize this change. Institutionalize the change. So if I want to bring changes in my business, because I am unable to perform as per my expectations, my business is unable to provide the desired results, then three steps are there. Step number one, I will recognize the need for change. Step number 2 may I will create a shared vision. Step number 3 may I will institutionalize the change. So step number 1, what will happen? Step number 1 may all the organizations scan their existing environment. Their existing environment. I will scan my internal environment also. I will scan my external environment also and try to understand the need for change. Need for change. I will try to understand the need for change. Simple. So in simple words, I can also write something like this. Organizations try to understand their problems in existing strategy. Obviously, sir, unless and until I analyze my existing strategy, unless and until I find out what problems I am facing in the existing strategy, I will not be able to make any changes. So step number 1 may I will recognize the need for change. How, sir? How do I know whether I need to change or not? Organizations will analyze their internal and external environment. That is called as environmental scanning, and then they will try to find out the need for change. If they feel that the present strategy may problems are there, then they will decide to make changes in their strategy. If they feel that no sir, we are actually performing better than expected, then there is no need to make any changes in strategy. In case if management feels that they are unable to achieve their targets as per the expectations or as per the standards, then they need to make a change in their strategy. So in step number 2, what will happen? They will create a shared vision. Sir, see, vision can be of two types: shared vision and vision shared. I will write somewhere here. See, vision which we are going to discuss here, vision which we are going to discuss in next chapter. Vision means like something what you want to be in future. What organization, in simple words if I take, what organization wants to be in future is called what? What exactly you want to be in future, that is called for your vision. Let us say for example, ICAI wants to be the world's leading accounting body. Leading accounting body. This is called what? Vision. It wants to be the leading accounting body in the world. That is nothing but vision. One more example, sir. Flipkart. What is the vision of Flipkart? Flipkart wants to be India's Amazon. It wants to be India's Amazon. Simple. This is nothing but vision. What you are today, here I'm not talking about present, I'm talking about future. What you want to be in future is called what? Your vision. Here, and this vision, when we talk, vision as I already told you is of two types. One is shared vision. Here one is shared vision, and second one is vision shared. Vision shared. Here I repeat, vision means something what you want to become in future, and this vision can be of two types: shared vision and vision shared. Shared vision means management prepares vision with involvement of employees. With involvement of employees means, sir, employees are involved in preparing a vision of a company. They will talk to employees, like all employees will sit together, lower level management, middle level management, top level management. We will discuss, I will discuss with all of them, and then I will create my company ka vision. That is called what? Shared vision. Vision shared means here top level management enforces vision on employees. Means, sir, employees here employees are not involved in creating a vision. I'm deciding my vision and I'm just enforcing, means forcing you to help me in achieving that vision. Clear? So vision may be either shared vision or it can be vision shared. So when employees are involved in creating a vision of a company, then it is called as shared vision. When top level management is forcing a vision on you, they are not involving you in any of this decision making, then it is called as vision shared. Here we are talking about what? Shared vision, where employees are involved. Employees are involved. Obviously, sir. Here, whenever I'm trying to make any changes in my organization, I need to involve the employees. I need to take their views into consideration and then make a decision. Otherwise, what will happen? Employees will be unhappy, right? So that is why vision, vision of organization and individual. Your vision of organization and individual should coincide to achieve desired results. Desired results. Sir, every person working in a company ka vision and the company's vision should be same. I repeat, every employee ka vision in a company and company's vision for itself should be same. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Sir, every here employees ka vision is different, management ka vision is different. What is going to happen? Neither employee is going to achieve the results nor the company is going to achieve the results. That is why what I should do in order to ensure that my organization's vision and every individual vision in the organization should be same. For that, what will I do? I will involve the employees in decision making and create a vision with the help of them so that everyone is aware of the vision what a company is having. Clear? That is why what should senior management do? Senior management should communicate. Senior management should communicate organization's vision, communicate organization's vision to whom? To all employees. To all employees. So that employees are also aware of the vision of a company and their vision is the vision of the company. Then only employees will help me in achieving my vision. Then step number 3, what will I do? Institutionalize this change. Here, institutionalizing change means it is a stage where, here it is a step. This is a step. This is where changes are actually implemented. Changes should be implemented. Here changes should be implemented. Here my changes are implemented in which stage? In institutionalizing the change. And whatever changes are properly implemented, changes should be regularly monitored. Regularly monitored. Obviously, sir, just making changes here, just making changes will not make my company achieve my vision. I should continuously monitor the changes and see whether employees are working in a new manner or not. So point number 1, what is a strategic change, sir? Strategic change is required when the actual performance is not better than standard performance. Means I'm not able to achieve the results what I'm expecting from my strategy. And when then that thing happens, then organization needs to change. How many stages are there to change? Recognize the need to change, create a shared vision, and institutionalize the change. We have one more concept in strategic change, that is Kurt and Lewin's strategic change process. Kurt Lewin strategic change process. Here Kurt Lewin का strategic change process. According to Kurt Lewin, whatever we have discussed here same steps, same thing we are going to learn in the form of another concept. That is nothing but Kurt and Lewin का change process. According to Kurt and Lewin, change process, whenever a company is planning to change, there are 3 steps in change, strategic change according to Kurt and Lewin. First one is unfreeze. Here unfreeze. Second one, change. Changing to new situation. And then refreeze. Here refreeze. Unfreeze, change to new situation, refreeze. Unfreeze, changing to new situation, refreeze. Here unfreeze, change to new situation, refreeze. Unfreeze means break down old traditions. Unfreeze means break down old traditions. Break down old traditions. Here break down old traditions, behaviors. customs, so that organization can start on clean slate. Here on which slate? Clean slate. Like let us say for example accounting. Today I'm using Tally. Here earlier till today I was using Tally. Initially, what happened when I started my career, my business was very small. Here, number of students what were there, like number of students what I used to teach was very less initially. Maybe in my batch, 2 or 3 students used to be there. But as of today, I am on an average 1300 to 1400 students in Hyderabad I teach every day. Initially, when I started my classes, 2 or 3 students maximum used to be there. But today, in my physical classes, almost around 1400 to 1300, 1400, 1500 students in a day I teach in Hyderabad. Overall, in one day. On top of that, my online lectures will be continuously sold. Some like students will keep buying. Those who cannot attend my physical classes, either they attend my online live classes or they buy my online pen drive lectures, because of which what happens, my business is slowly expanding. Now I feel that Tally is not doing justice to my business. Now Tally is not doing justice to my business. Now what will I do? Now I will stop using Tally. What was my old traditional behavior custom what I was following? Tally. Now immediately I will stop using Tally and start fresh by buying a new software. So I stopped using Tally now. From last 2 years, I stopped using Tally. Why? Number of students what I'm teaching are slowly increasing, and Tally is unable to manage that much data. That is why what happened? I stopped using Tally 2 years back. But now question comes, okay, once I stop using Tally, now I'm searching for a software. Which software should I use now? Suddenly, I decided that okay, I will start using SAP ERP. That is called what? Second step, changing to new situation. Here, unfreeze means stop doing work. Here, stop doing work in the old method. So immediately what happened? Since I felt that Tally was not managing my business properly, immediately I stopped using Tally. When I stopped doing the work in my old way, that is called what? Unfreezing. I stopped doing my work in the old manner. That is called what? Unfreezing. After unfreezing, what do I do? Okay, I started slowly implementing SAP in my business. That is called step number 2, changing to new situation. According to Kelman, according to Kelman, changing to new situation can be done in three ways. There are 3 steps, or you can say 3 components of changing. Number 1, compliance. Component number 2 is identification, and component number 3 is internalization. Clear? So how many components are there? Compliance, identification, and internalization. Compliance means reward and punishment. Compliance means reward and punishment system. Reward and punishment system. Bring a clear in your organization. Whenever you're changing, you bring a reward and punishment system. If employees are clear, if employees of your organization are listening to you, are making changes in the way of their work, then give them reward. In case if employees are not listening to you, they are not, you can say, ready to change as per your requirements, then give punishment to them. So good behavior play, I will give you reward. Bad behavior play, I will give you punishment. Identification means identify the need for change. Identify the need for change. Need for change. Sir, what was the need for me to change from using Tally to manage my students' data to using SAP to manage my students' data? Expansion of business. Since my business expanded, Tally I thought that it became useless for me. And then we have internalization, means changing the thought process. Changing the thought process. Thought process of individuals. Means See, now suddenly what happens? Now when I shifted from Tally to SAP, now my employees were my employees were reluctant. They felt that SAP is a difficult software. Tally they have been using from the time they started articleship, and Tally has been a part and parcel of their life from last 15, 20 years. My employees, but now suddenly when I start shifting to SAP, now what happens? They directly cannot start using SAP. They require training. Some mistakes will be there, some problems they may face. It takes time to become comfortable. So for which what I need to do, I need to change their thought process. I need to motivate them, explain them the importance of SAP in our business than compared to Tally. Motivate them, give them some promotion if they are able to learn it. So what happens here, I'm changing the thinking process of my employees. I'm making sure that they are covered slowly over a period of time, comfortable in using SAP. And once everything is fine, once I stopped doing the work in the old method, unfreezed, I started reward and punishment method. I started recognizing the need for change, explaining the importance of change to the employees. All the employees have agreed. Then once everything is perfect, then I will refreeze. Refreeze means new changes, new changes become part of your new changes become part of your day-to-day process. Day-to-day process means once employee learn using SAP and they start being comfortable in using SAP, that is called what? Rephrase. So in rephrase what happens? New behavior should replace should replace old behavior. Simple. New behavior replaces old behavior. Completely stop doing the old thing and start doing the new thing. This is called what? Kurt and Lewenka change process. I hope it is clear. Anyone any doubts here? Now next concept we have is, next some more small concepts are pending. That is strategy implementation. Here strategy implementation. Strategy implementation and strategy formulation. Strategy formulation. Clear? Strategy implementation and strategy formulation. Clear? Now first let us understand, how exactly the strategy formulation and implementation works out. Let me draw one small chart. Here let me draw one small chart. Like we will take one box where we will see, and here we will draw four boxes. Important concept from exam point of view. This is box A, this is box B, box C, box D. In exam also try to draw as many diagrams as possible because it looks good in presentation. Okay, presentation will be good. So this side x axis pe we will take strategy implementation. Here strategy implementation, and this side we will take strategy formulation. Strategy formulation. Clear? Strategy implementation is there, strategy formulation is there. Now, strategy implementation can be clear. Strategy implementation can be weak also. Strategy implementation can be excellent also. In the same way, strategy formulation can be flawed also, or it can be sound also. So here we are comparing. Here we are comparing strategy implementation with what's with strategy formulation. X-axis पे we have taken strategy implementation, Y-axis पे we have taken strategy formulation. Strategy implementation of a company can be weak or excellent. In the same way, strategy formulation can be flawed and sound. So first, what will happen? Strategy formulation will happen, and then strategy implementation will happen. Always remember, first strategy formulation. After formulating the strategy, strategy implementation will happen. Now see here, sir. In first case, my strategy formulation is sound, but my strategy implementation is weak. That is which case? Situation A. Here in box A, if a company falls in A category, then it means its formulation is good, but its implementation is weak. It is able to prepare a good strategy, but it is unable to implement a strategy properly. Next, a company which comes under category B, it is not only able to prepare a good strategy, it is having excellent implementation skills. So every company should try to come under which category? Category B, where formulation is also good, implementation is also good. Next situation, if a company comes in category C, means it is facing a problem. It is facing a problem in not only preparing a strategy but also in implementing a strategy, wherein strategy formulation is also flawed and implementation is also weak. They should try to avoid this category. And category D, clear, if a company comes under category D, even though it is facing problems in formulating of strategy, but it is having excellent implementation skills. So there are four boxes: category A, category B, category C, and category D. Company should never try to come under category C. It should always try to come under what, sir? Category B. Clear? Now let me write some notes of what we have done here. So here square A, here we have four squares, right? Square A is a situation where what happens is a situation where strategy formulation is sound. Strategy formulation is sound, but strategy implementation is weak. Strategy implementation is weak. Clear? Company is facing problems in implementation. It is weak. It means what, sir? Company is facing problems in implementing a strategy. Organization is facing problems in implementing the strategy. Clear? It is able to formulate a strategy. Formulation is not a problem in square A. Problem is there in implementation. They have very clear, they are able to formulate the strategy properly, but they are unable to implement. Why, sir? There are many reasons. There are many reasons that company might be facing problems in implementing a strategy. Example, sir, experience, lack of experience, especially for startup companies. Yes, lack of experience, especially for startup companies, or they can be lack of resources. Like they may not like resources can be financial related. There may be lack of financial resources, or there may be lack of non-financial resources. Clear? Non-financial resources. Clear? Financial resources can also be a problem. Non-financial resources can also be a problem, because of which I'm unable to implement my strategy properly. Or weak leadership, or there might be weak leadership. There might be many reasons, right? Three reasons I've given you. Reason number one, lack of experience, especially in case of startup companies, new companies. Reason number two, lack of financial and non-financial resources. Financial resources, maybe money it is not having to implement the strategy, or it has money but it doesn't have skilled employees to implement the strategy, or leadership of the company, top level management of the company may be weak. Clear? So that is why whenever company comes in square A, should it try to remain in square A or should try to go to square B? It should try to move into square B. Why? This is the situation where every company wants to be in. So square B. Square B is a situation is a situation square B is a situation where okay, square B is a situation where company has company has sound strategy formulation skills relation skills and also has excellent excellent strategy implementation skills implementation skills. So I'm not only good in creating the strategy, I'm also good in implementing the strategy. And every company should try to come on this square only. Every organization should try to come under square B. Square B only. Clear? Don't try to remain in A, D. Forget about C. C though you should never consider only. You should never consider category C. You should always try to be in category A. If you are in A also try to be in B. If you are in D also try to move into B. But never try to go to category C type of businesses. Otherwise your business has to close. Why? Neither you are able to formulate a strategy or nor you are able to implement a strategy. Next, then we have square C. Square C here denotes square C denotes for companies square C denotes for companies that that haven't succeeded haven't succeeded in coming up with good strategy formulation and 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 in addition are bad at implementing the strategy. Clear? So I'm not only bad in formulating a strategy, I'm also bad in implementing the strategy. Clear? Next. Then last one, square D. Clear? Square D is a situation where strategy formulation. Clear? Strategy formulation is flawed, but organization has excellent clear organization has excellent implementation skills. I'm having excellent implementation skills. Clear? So what is there, sir? How many parts are there? Four parts. Category A, B, C, and D. The most admirable or desirable situation is category B. The least desirable box is box C. If A and D you are there, so little changes you have to make so that you can come in square B, which is a ideal situation for every company. Clear? Now let us take one more box. Here let us take one more box and let us analyze that. Here this is efficiency and effectiveness. Like let us say here we will take strategy formulation which can be effective or ineffective. Yep. My strategy formulation can be effective also, ineffective also. Then my operations management. Operations management. My operations management can be efficient also, inefficient also. Clear? So here we have taken second box where we have taken strategy formulation and we have taken operations management. Now, see, in case if my strategy formulation is effective, if my strategy formulation is effective and my operations management is ineffective, try to thrive. Thrive means try to improve. Try to improve. Sir, my strategy formulation is ineffective. Clear? Ineffective. And my operations management is inefficient. I'm ineffective also, I'm inefficient also. Then die slowly. Your business will die slowly. Next. Sir, I am effective also, I am efficient also. I repeat, I am effective also, efficient also. Then I will be able to survive. I will be able to survive. Sir, I am ineffective also, I am ineffective but efficient. Then I will die quickly. Die quickly. Simple. This is one more diagram what you can draw in exam with reference to strategy formulation and implementation. Clear? No. So we have studied what is formulation and what is implementation in a small charts, two diagrams. But now what we will do is a proper differences ka table we will see. The differences table may I will mention what is the difference between strategy implementation and strategy formulation. So I will write here formulation. Here this is formulation and this is implementation. Number one. So strategy formulation is before action. Before action means it is theoretical. Implementation is during action. That is practical. Difference number two. So strategy formulation the focus here strategy formulation focuses on what? Effectiveness. And strategy implementation focuses on efficiency. Focuses on efficiency. Next. Strategy formulation requires analytical skills. Analytical skills. Lot of analysis you have to do before preparing a strategy. But sir, implementation में analytical skills are not required. Leadership skills are required. It requires leadership and motivation skills. And motivation skills to motivate the employees to implement the strategy. Next, one more difference. So strategy formulation requires coordination of few individuals. Lots of people are not required. Here, top level management में lots of people are not required to formulate a strategy. Like 4 or 5 people, if they say proper strategy, they can prepare. So coordination is very less number of people. But here, sir, it requires implementation will be done by middle level and lower level, right? So lots of people are required for implementation of strategy. So it requires coordination of many individuals. It requires coordination of many individuals. Next. So strategy, clear strategy formulation involves planning. involves planning, and strategy implementation involves execution. Here it involves execution. Next, sir, top level management is responsible. Top level management is responsible for formulation strategy. Sir, middle level management and lower level management is responsible for what, sir? For implementation of strategy. Simple. So, since top level management is involved, I can say it's an entrepreneur activity. Entrepreneur activity. And here it is administrative activity. It's an administrative activity. Simple. Here it requires intellectual skills. It requires intellectual skills. And here it requires what? Here it requires operational skills. Operational skills. It requires what, sir? Operational skills. So these are some differences between strategy formulation and strategy implementation. I hope the concept is clear. Next. So coming back to our material once here. So this is amendment. Amendment में strategy implementation we have discussed. Here strategy implementation we have discussed. But issues in strategy implementation we will discuss now. Then what is strategy audit and what is the need for strategy audit we have discussed. Then Richard Rumletka criteria for strategy audit we have discussed yesterday. Then reasons why strategy evaluation is difficult that we have to discuss today. 2 questions. Examples, clear? Examples of core business process reengineering we have seen. Issues in BPR also we have seen. So 2 small concepts pending here. Then let us go to the main material here. Question number 1, business process reengineering done and what are its principles? Clear? Principles of central trust and meaning of BPR we have done. BPR. Then how is BPR implemented or steps in implementing BPR done? So write a short note on problems of BPR, issues of BPR we have seen. Benchmarking का concept we have seen. Steps in benchmarking also we have seen. Concept of strategic change just now today morning only we have seen. Clear? Concept of strategic change. Kurt and Lewin ka strategic change process we have seen. Strategic controls we have seen. Differences between strategy formulation and strategy implementation also we have seen. So now one concept from here, forward and backward linkages. This is again a very important question for MCQs. Forward and backward linkages. Small concept only, forward and backward linkages. Here, forward and backward linkages. See, forward linkage means if strategy formulation has an impact, here if strategy formulation has an impact on strategy, here strategy implementation. I repeat, if strategy formulation is having an impact on strategy implementation, then it is called what? Forward linkages. See, first what will come? First formulation will come. And after formulation, implementation will come, right? So, if formulation is having an impact on implementation, it is called which linkage? It is called as forward linkage. In case if strategy implementation is having an impact on formulation, it is called as what? Backward linkages. Backward linkages means if strategy implementation has an impact on what? On strategy formulation. Clear? Then it is called what? Then it is called as backward linkages. Clear? So I repeat, when strategy formulation has an impact on strategy implementation, then it is called as forward linkages. And if a strategy implementation is having an impact on what? Strategy formulation, then it is called what? Then it is called as backward linkages. Clear? Simple one. Now some two small concepts are pending. The first one we have is issues in strategy implementation. Issues in strategy implementation. Issues in strategy implementation. Sir, there are many issues in strategy implementation. Let us see. Sir, issue number one. The manner in which strategy should be put into action. Should be put into action. Put into action. Sir, I formulated a strategy. Here, I formulated a strategy, but how do I implement that strategy is a big problem. See, strategy formulation every company is able to do, but many companies are facing problem in what? Implementation of strategy. They don't know how to start the implementation. Which employee should be involved? Which employee should not be involved? How many resources required? How much money is required? How many employees are required? Is technology required or not? Lot of questions are there to be answered for implementing the strategy, which many companies do not know. Why, sir? Remember one thing: strategy do not themselves result into action. Result into action means, sir, once I clear the strategy what I formulated will automatically, it doesn't get implemented automatically, right? I repeat, when I formulate a strategy, it doesn't mean that it is automatically implemented. No, implementation is a completely different thing. Formulation is a completely different thing. If formulation, like we have seen, right, formulation is good, implementation is bad, what is going to happen? So that is why organization ka biggest problem what they face is how to implement a strategy. They don't know. Many companies don't know. Problem number two, strategies lead to strategy leads to formulation formulation of programs. Means strategy is divided into small parts. They are called as programs. Programs include what? Sir, programs includes goals. Programs means goals, policies of a company, procedures. Clear? Goals, policies, procedures, rules, etc., etc. So whenever strategy is prepared, it is mandatory to formulate a program, which, like, my goals, why did I formulate a strategy, what I want to achieve from that strategy, rules and regulations, policies and procedures, all these are nothing but examples of programs. Programs के लिए what is required? Fund allocation. This is one of the biggest problems. Again, funds are not available, sir. That is one more issue. Next, sir, here then what happens? Programs lead to, here programs lead to what? Lead to formulation of projects. Here it leads to what, sir? Formulation of projects. Formulation project matlab, like, there are different projects in an organization, right? Like research and development project is there. Clear? Then we have marketing project is there, sales project is there, and every project के लिए time and cost are very important. Time and cost are very important. So company may have time, but it may not have enough money to use that strategy, or company may have money, but it may not have that much time. So these are the three problems what a companies face. Problem number one, clear? Problem number one, they are able to formulate a strategy, but they don't know how to implement a strategy. If someone tells them, they will implement, but they don't have an idea. Number two, strategy leads to creation of what? Programs, and programs lead to creation of projects, which all require what? Funds. But every company may not have enough funds to implement the strategy. Clear? Last concept, that is reasons why strategy evaluation is difficult in today's world. Clear? Reasons why strategy evaluation is difficult in today's world. Why it is difficult, sir? Like as an auditor, when I go for clear as an auditor when I start strategy audit, clear, as an auditor when I go for strategy audit, what will I do? I will evaluate the strategy, right? The main reason for going for strategy audit is to evaluate a strategy. Auditor went for the strategy audit and auditor started evaluating the strategy, but problem, auditor is facing some problems while evaluating the strategy during strategy audit. But why these problems auditor is facing? Why is it becoming very difficult for an auditor to verify the strategy, to evaluate the strategy? There are many reasons. Reason number one, increase in increase in environment complexity. Sir, external environment is becoming more and more complex. It becomes very difficult to forecast. It becomes very difficult to analyze the environment. Then I may not be able to evaluate the strategy. Number two, difficulty. It is difficult to predict future with certainty. Obviously, sir, forecasting is based on what? Based on some assumptions. That assumptions may go wrong, because of which there is always uncertainty in future. Increase in number of variables in external environment. Like we have political environment, socio-legal environment, clear? Sorry, socio-cultural environment, political environment, socio-cultural environment, legal environment. Extra, we have environmental factors, we have economic factors, technological factors. So many factors are there, so many variables are there that it is becoming very difficult for me to analyze my strategy. Then rapid rate of rapid rate of obsolescence. Sir, external environment changes are being so fast. There are so fast changes. There are lots of changes in the external environment, and the changes in the external environment are so fast that I'm unable to analyze my environment. Then increase in both domestic and international events that affect the organization that affect the organization. Like let us say for example Russia-Ukraine war, it will impact my business. Taliban has entered into Afghanistan, impacting my business. Sri Lanka ka economy is in crisis, clear, worst crisis from the day they got independence. That is again giving us problems. Then the rise in the petrol prices, rise in the per barrel cost of petrol, crude oil, that is also giving us problem. Inflation, US is having the highest inflation till now. India is also having continuous inflation, that is also giving problem. So international market may events are happening, India may also events are happening, whether it is domestic event or international event. Every event will have an impact on what, like lemon prices are increasing in India, that is a domestic event. Onion prices increasing, domestic event. War between Russia and Ukraine, Sri Lanka ka crisis, Afghanistan crisis, they are all US ka inflation, because of which stock market are crashing. All these are examples of what? International, domestic and international events which will have an impact on my business. That also I need to take into consideration. Because of all these things, I'm unable to evaluate my strategy. Next one, decrease in time to take decisions. I'm having very less time to take a decision, sir. That is why it is becoming very difficult for me to analyze my strategy before preparing a plan. So these are all the examples of what reasons why it is becoming difficult to evaluate a strategy for an auditor. During which audit? Strategy audit. Clear? So with this we complete this small chapter, that is chapter number 8.